Welcome, everybody, to the Triple B Experience Wrestlemania wrap-up show. We got the special guest panel, of course, always, and I'm glad these guys could make it because it was Tuesday. I decided to do it, and I think I can try to decide to get stuff done. But we're going to get our guest here real quick so we can get our picks, talk a little bit about what we picked. I didn't do very good. Everybody else blew me away. But my first guest this evening is the world beater, Mr. Chris Coleman. Chris, how you doing this evening?
Good, Bubba, good.
Well, thanks for joining, and you are very scholarly in the wrestling picks. I just want to put that out there. So Donnie got some Mr. Tapot got some competition. And speaking of Mr. Tapot, we're gonna bring him in, Mr. Donnie Fulmer. Mr. Tapot, how you doing this evening?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Did you hear what I just said? There's some competition between
I figured.
the team Tap out here. You guys are some wrestling prognosticators. But honestly, this guy here, special field correspondent Shane, he was doing good going Saturday night. Sunday, things happen. But Shane, I tell you what, you were very good. But everybody, special field correspondent Shane Stodmiller. Shane, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing great, Bubba. Like you said, I started out hot and then I shit the bed. So
you were doing real good. You were doing super, man.
That shirt is fire, Bubba. I love that shirt, man.
Oh, thanks. It's old school. I like to be old school.
Yeah.
So our last person for the panel, Rich Smoke, is going to try to make it, and Double D couldn't make it. So sorry about that. But Double D said he'd make it some other time, and we just got to keep the show's got to keep moving. I wish everything the best. And if Rich Smokes comes on, sometimes he just pops right in. But our last special guest on the special panel for this WrestleMania wrap-up, it's a special guest, the host of his own extreme wrestling podcast, Mr. Larry Stryker. Larry, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, fellas?
How's it going?
Oh, living a dream.
Oh, that's good.
Looks like Donnie chapped our asses again.
Well, it was close. Oh, hey, Rich is here. Rich is here. Hold on, I got to get him. There he is. Rich. He's here. We got everybody in the house. We're good. So
hey,
let's go real quick to this lovely Ring of Honor pay-per-view. And if you guys actually seen any matches, you guys can commentate. But we're going to try to go. I did not see any of the matches. All I saw was Mr. Dante Martin breaking his leg. That's all I saw. But we had that match where I'm going to mess up this name because I'll have Chris El Del Vikingo, there I go again, versus Commander for the AAA Mega Championship. Del Vikingo was, did I say it right, Chris?
Del Vikingo, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. I said that. He was the winner. Now, Chris, Donnie, Larry, and Todd took him, while me and Shane took Cobra Commander. So those guys were getting off pretty good. Me and Shane, not so much. Reach for the Sky Tag Team Championship ladder match. The winner was the Lucha Brothers. Yeah, I said it right? Oh, my God.
Lucha Brothers, yeah.
Yes, the Lucha Brothers. The winner was Todd. Todd was the only one to pick that. Larry picked the Aussie Open. Chris and Donnie took Rush and Drelahisico. And Shane took Top Flight, and I took the Kingdom due to the fact of his wife, and I didn't even see it, so they probably didn't do anything. So Todd was the winner of that one. Now that
was a good match.
Was it?
That was a good match.
Did she show up? Did she show up?
Oh yeah, she was there.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you know the spot where Dante shattered his ankle was insane.
Brutal.
Insane.
Wow. Okay.
Unnecessary is what it was.
That too. You're right.
It's a ladder match. What does doing a destroyer through tables to the floor do to help you win a ladder match?
Who
Good point.
That? Well, you know your stuff, Chris. Yeah, that was just crazy. Hey, Steve Jordan, thanks for tuning in. And Bill Zach and Jason Reese from Extreme Wrestling Podcast, thanks for tuning in for this wrap-up show. And we got to the six-man championship match. The Embassy versus AR Fox, Blake Christensen, and Melalik. The winners were the Embassy. Well, of course, Chris and Donnie. Now Larry and Shane took that. Everybody took that. I took AR Fox, Blake Christensen, and Melalik. That was terrible. And Rich, he didn't turn it in time, but that's okay. He did pretty good in the WrestleMania picks. So, yeah, I'm not doing very good in this Ring of Honor stuff. Now, the Ring of Honor Pure Championship match was a champion Wheeler Yuta versus, hold on, I'm going to get this, Katsuyori Shibata.
Katsuyori Shibata.
Bless you.
Yeah.
I was so close. I know Chris was gonna. Goddamn.
You was closer this time you was last week.
Oh, I practiced
That is
a little
for
bit.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Shibata won and took the title. Now Chris and Donnie, we all took Shibata. We all knew that was going to be that. That was a clean sweep. Okay. So this one, and I'm doing the Ring of Honor stuff real quick because I didn't get to see it. Larry was probably the only one that actually watched it. I couldn't find it. The ROH TV Championship. The champion was Samoa Joe versus Mark Briscoe, and the winner was Samoa Joe. I wish I could have saw that match. I don't know. Was it good, Larry? Did you see any of that?
It wasn't bad. I wish Mark would have took it though. It just
Okay.
I'm not a big Joe fan. But
What's wrong with you?
I love Joe. Samoa Joe.
I don't like Joe.
You just look at him and you think heat. You know, you love him, but you don't like him. You know what I mean? He's a great heel.
Yeah.
Well, the
I
thing
definitely
is-
don't like him.
Me and Shane took him. Well, Shane liked him. Me and Shane took him, but everybody thought it was the emotional Mark Briscoe winning, and Chris, Donnie, Larry, and Todd took that. So, yeah. So the last match that I have, we didn't do the ladies' match because we didn't know who was up at that time because of Thursday night. We did the show Thursday. Robbie, thanks for tuning in to the Triple B Experience Mega Aftermath cast. So the Ring of Honor World Championship, Claudio versus Eddie Kingston. The winner was Claudio Castagnoli. It was Chris, Donnie, Larry, and Shane. Me and Todd picked Eddie Kingston, and I'm sure that was a great match. That was my emotional, heartfelt story, but that was not the case.
Yeah, I missed that match somehow. I think I nodded off.
I missed the whole goddamn pay-per-view because I couldn't find it.
I couldn't find it either. Even though I didn't put my picks through, I couldn't even find it.
It was the Eddie match, so I fell asleep.
Well, sometimes that happens. You're a working man, Larry. You're a working man. We're all working. Now the winners for the pay-per-views, everybody out there in TV land. Chris had 4 out of 6. Donnie had 4 out of 6. Team Tap Out was tapping out on everybody. Larry was 4 out of 6.
Oh,
Shane, special field correspondent Shane, was 4 out of 6. Todd was 4 out of 6, and this guy brought up the rear who totally fucking sucks at picking, but he's the guy who does the show. I got 2 out of 6. So I suck.
You were halfway there. Halfway there.
I was halfway there. So that was the Ring of Honor stuff, and I have a tally of everybody at the end. So thanks for staying in. Now we're going to get into the nitty-gritty. Now we're going to get into WrestleMania. Robbie said he was falling asleep normally during AEW and Impact matches. LOL. Well, yeah, it all depends on who's wrestling on each of that. But okay, we're going to start off with Andre the Giant Battle Royal, and the winner was Bobby Lashley. Now, I'm going to go.
I should have took him.
Well,
I did, I believe.
Rich did take him. Chris took Karrion Kross. Larry took Karrion Kross. Shane, you took. I think it lasted 10 seconds. I don't know if I had a fucking pizza or whatever. Baron Corbin was.
He came out. He came in and out quicker than a Taco Bell shit.
Oh my God! Yes.
I thought you was having a buy-low sub, Bubba.
One pump jump, happy Corbin.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't get anything. I had to go to 9th Street because my power went out Saturday. It was terrible. It was a god awful experience. It reminded me when I was 12 the last time when the power went out in the first WrestleMania because in Pittsburgh the closed circuit stuff went out. So on Channel 4 WTAE gave it to everybody free, and then my power ran out then too. So 40 years later, it was the curse. But Todd
it's a milestone, okay?
Yeah,
every
Todd,
39 to 40 years.
Yeah. So next time, 20 years from now, it's going to happen. Todd took Dexter Loomis, and I don't know why I took Rick Boogs, and I don't think he lasted long. So
am I the only guy that took Lashley? Really? Wow.
You were the only guy that took Lashley.
Wow.
Yeah.
It just, you know what it was? It was the way they cut that promo that I just felt like they had to bring him back in there with a bang and do something with him. And I even thought maybe Sunday night when they brought him out to show off his trophy that he might be doing. So I know we were talking about it a little bit in the chat, but unfortunately they just did nothing. He just came out to show his trophy off and go back in. It didn't make any sense to me. But
well, thanks, Vince, for booking that. That was awesome. Okay, so we're going to start off. I got all these matches in order from Saturday's Mania. The first match to start it off was the U.S. Championship match. The champion, Austin Theory, versus the Peacemaker, in my eyes, John Cena. The winner was Austin Theory. So, Chris, what did you like or dislike about that match? I'll go around to everybody real quick.
I thought it was a good match overall. You could definitely see John starting to show his age a little bit, kind of a half step off, but still very good. You could hear him screaming spots like you always can. But all in all, I thought it was a good match. They made the right decision there to have John give the rub to Theory because, he's not going to be there long term, obviously.
Right.
And the number of matches you want to save for him to be special. You don't want him defending the U.S. Championship 5 days later on SmackDown or whatever.
Gotcha.
So, but all in all, I feel like they made the right call there, and it was all in all a good match.
Okay, Donnie, what did you think about that match?
That was a good match, well worked. It ended the way it should have, as far as setting it up, taking it home.
Do you think it should have had the referee situation in the first match like that though?
No, negative.
They
should have saved that for the main event. That's a main event move.
Yeah.
I think I snapped off for the rest of the night Saturday about that. I'm pretty sure I said something like 4 times.
Yeah, you were irritated about it for sure.
Well, because I'm sitting there with a buddy of mine, and it happened like 5 more times. I mean, it wasn't as big of a deal, but like getting kicked and one getting rolled out. And I'm like, dude, I get it. Like back in the day, they've always done this, but they would do it scarcely where it made sense. And now it feels like every time they want somebody to win and lose a match, they have to do it every time. Like, oh, we have to have Cena win, but he's not going to win. And we can only do it one way. Oh, we feel that way about this guy and this guy and that guy. It's like, Jesus Christ. Just take a loss and give a win. Just make up your mind.
Yeah, it's the Eddie Graham finish.
Yeah, I mean, I will say from like a childhood perspective, I mean, when I was younger, Cena was one of the guys that I liked just because I just liked him. I thought he was catchy.
You're allowed to. You're allowed to.
Definitely a little pissed off from a bias standpoint, but it was a good match overall. I mean, and Austin won it exactly how I kind of thought he would if he would, which was the whole, biting John Cena's finger thing and doing all that. It's exactly what you kind of want to see. If you're going to have John lose, at least do it the right. I mean, they did it the right way. I thought it was done the right way. I mean, of course, at the end I was pissed, but
because you're a Cena fan.
Yeah.
What about
the referee thing just got me?
Yeah, the first match. What about you, Lair?
Yeah, I like Chris said, Cena definitely looked a little lag, so to speak. But I mean, overall, good match. Austin Theory, I don't know, he's starting to grow on me. So,
that's good.
And the one
people
thing
don't grow on you too much, Lair.
Right.
The one thing I forgot too is that bald spot, man. You just gotta just shave it off, bro. Just
right.
Make it like
fire it before it quits you.
Yeah, it's already given up.
You got that spray. He's good.
Yeah, but listen. I thought it was like my buddy was like, oh, he has a bit of a bald spot. I'm like, okay, well, I thought it'd be like a small little spot. That's the whole damn back of his head, bro. I mean, that just needs to go. I mean, it's the whole cranium, man.
I will say this. I was watching the night 1 of WrestleMania with Bill Collier and his son Devin, and the new G.I. Joe John Cena T-shirt popped the room. We were
love that shirt.
I'm not even a Cena guy, and the classic Hasbro G.I. Joe shirt popped me. Yeah,
well,
it was good.
Bill, if I remember correctly, Bill is a Cena guy.
He is. I don't hold that against him.
No. I'm a Cena guy now because the Peacemaker is acting.
I'm same way.
What about you, Shane, about this match?
I've said this. I share my sentiment with you. I mean, I didn't like him much, and it doesn't help that he co-hosted Good Morning America. What a shit move for a fucking wrestler to be. I would click on Good Morning America and see that big swelled neck dude in there. I don't want to see that. But
you see him anyway.
But this was probably the easiest one to pick out of all of the 3 nights because, like,
I don't know about that.
I think so. This is the one I would have bet a paycheck on because, like you said, you're not going to drag his old ass out.
You did pick him. You did pick him.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you would have won a paycheck.
But they wouldn't have they were not going to drag him out for Raw and parade him around. And he has shown his age. My question to the panel is, when is he going to hang up the boots like Batista did? Is he going to do it like that, or is he going to keep hanging on?
Hanging out.
When they stop sending checks to his house.
Yeah.
and
that's unfortunate.
The WWE's always been that way. They love bringing their legends back for WrestleMania, so he's always going to be one of the people on the call list.
He's still good. He's good with those kids. on the platform.
Yeah.
Make-A-Wish stuff. He's a machine.
But to be fair, look, Stone Cold came back last year. They've always brought back old heads. They brought The Rock back to have the feud there for a little while. They have a hard time letting those guys go. They never let them go.
Yeah, but the Rock can. I don't know.
No,
The
Rock.
No, he absolutely cannot. The last time he went, he tore his abs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well, I'm talking about he can run. The old mouth muscles make him hot for me. He gets it. He can talk all day long, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember he did he talked right. He was talking shit before a Mountaineer game in like 98, 96 time frame, right when he was coming out.
Oh,
and
was good.
And he said he was going to he said my Canes are going to lay that smack down on the Mountaineer candy asses. And I was like, oh yeah, the Rock's going to kick our ass. I was so excited, and I'm like, whoa, wait a second. That's my team. But no, seriously.
So, but yeah, The Rock had to do. That's why he didn't do the main event with Roman, because he couldn't do it in the schedule when he had to train for 4 or 5 months. And that's why. Now we got some people that are showing up. Andy, C4, thank you for tuning in to the MegaCast. Tony Moore, thanks for watching. Steve Jordan said if they can bring a crowd, then they will always be brought back because of speaking the game.
That's right.
Than that. No.
Right.
So, but I didn't like the referee spot. Chris, Donnie, Larry, and Shane took the Cena. Rich, Todd, and myself took Cena. So you guys took Austin Theory, and then we took Cena, and I started it off with a bang. I thought maybe they would do it and do something Monday night, and I was wrong. So I thought they opened it the way they should have, I
just thought they were going to use Cena to get somebody else over. My thought.
Oh, they did. They got Austin Theory over. Austin Theory should be over now.
One thing he was kind of already getting there. I felt like even without a beaten Cena.
Well, he was getting the push from Vince, and now Vince is back pushing everybody. So
we'll
go to that later. We'll go to that later.
Yeah, we need to talk about that later.
The fatal 4-way match: the Street Profits versus Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus Alpha Academy versus the Viking Raiders, and the winners were the Street Profits. Chris, what did you think about that match?
I thought this was a fun little match. I didn't have very high expectations going into the match. I thought, fatal 4-way tag matches, they're kind of usually bleh. But this was a fun little match. They did enough. They knew where they were in the show to not do too much. The Tower of Doom with the crossbody block, you could tell all their execution was very good. Ricochet, when he came off, he made sure he landed in such a way not to knee anybody in the head.
He's so good.
Like that. He is very good.
I like that tag team, Strowman and him. I like that.
Yeah, everything kind of flowed. They didn't do too much. It was a fun little match. I did enjoy that match more than I thought I was going to.
Okay, what about you, Donnie?
It was a fun match. I thought they were going to overdo it and really drag it out, but they did well with it as far as setting it up and where they're at in the show and everything. So, okay,
Rich, what about you, brother?
Yeah, same thing. Definitely exceeded my expectations. I know going into it, and like what Chris was talking about, I guess that was last week now, was he was worried it was going to get sloppy and guys were going to miss their cues and there was going to be a bunch of issues. And I got to say they did a really good job at keeping that chaos organized. And again, hats off to Ricochet. I think that guy puts himself in harm's way more than anybody. Him and Montez Ford did a really good job at being aerial, but not to a reckless degree. So yeah, hats off to them guys. Great match. It was a great match for more than what we expected, at least.
Larry, your take on it?
Yeah, I wasn't too into this match at all. It was all right, but
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Everything excites Larry, right?
Come on, Donnie.
I'm just joking. I watched them like Larry hates this match.
Yeah, it was. I didn't care for it, but
okay. Shane, what about you?
I had low expectations because I think I'm just so sick of the Vikings, But Ricochet and Braum, I think I was really excited to see that. Just the fact you have two different types of skills, but I don't know. It was better than it was better than what I thought, and I was surprised, like Chris and Donnie and Rich said, I thought it was going to be all over the place. and it wasn't. And sometimes it's too busy and too much is going on, and that wasn't the case. So
Right. Well, see, I thought the Viking Raiders had some great spots, and also I think Chad showed himself when he, was working with Strowman and stuff like that. So they need to split that off with him and Otis. And I know when Strowman was going around the ring that second time, and he got knocked for a loop, I was like, "Holy shit!"
Well,
With Dawkins.
Yeah, you can see Dawkins on the first go around. He's like, "Nah, I'm just gonna lay here and wait. I'm not gonna get up. I don't want to get run over." Yeah.
Yeah, he knocks the fuck out of Strowman.
Rom looks good.
Shit.
He looks so good now.
Yeah, well, Strowman does look good. I mean, I thought that match was better than what I thought it would be, and I liked some of the spots. I did like the Viking Raiders doubling down and their tag team.
They
yes,
did really well.
And that was my pick, was the Viking Raiders. Like I said, the winner was the Street Profits. Chris and Donnie, Rich and Shane took Strowman and Ricochet. Larry took Alpha Academy. And I took the Viking Raiders, and Todd took the Street Profits because he likes that Red Solo Cup. I think Todd's always been a Street Profit kind of guy. So now this match here, it's going to piss everybody off. I know it's going to piss Donnie off tremendously. Is Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul, and the winner, thank God, was Seth Rollins. But I'll get to my scenario when I get to me. But Chris, what did you think about that match?
I obviously didn't care for the match.
I knew it.
Yeah, right. So I think they went too long. They tried to do too much. They drug it out far longer than they needed to get more shit in. The asshole in the costume and the frog
I thought
splash.
that was his brother. I thought that
So
was
did
his
I.
brother.
So did I. I called it. Yeah, I said the same thing.
Arms are too small.
And I thought we weren't doing zipline deals anymore after
Owen.
Yeah.
After Owen, but apparently they're like, if he falls, who cares? They're just like, let him zipline over there. He wants to do it. Shit. If he dies, he dies. Very Ivan Drago of WWE management with regards to Logan Paul. I thought the match was too much, and you could tell Seth was carrying him.
Oh yeah.
If you don't see him on TV for 6 weeks while he recovers his back from carrying Logan Paul, then that's why.
He came back Monday.
He really put him over.
Donnie?
For what it's worth, it wasn't horrible, but I wasn't into it. I was just into it to see the finish. I watched it to see the finish. Other than that, I wouldn't watch it. I never watch a Paul fight.
Yeah, let me ask you a
question. Unless I watch the highlights,
are you
I'm not going to drink the Kool-Aid.
Are you a fan of Logan Paul?
What?
Are you a fan of Logan Paul?
No.
I didn't think so.
Donnie doesn't strike me as the Logan type of guy.
No.
Where, you don't have a case of Prime?
No.
Rich, what about you?
I tapped into Harry's Gatorade. Or Larry's Gatorade.
What about you, Rich?
I think for me it was a little bit. I mean, I agree with the one criticism being that the match was way too damn long. I fully agree with that aspect. I do like Seth Rollins. I have for a while. I don't know. I didn't like him at first. I remember watching him come out during the whole Shield days and a little bit after. Kind of got on my nerves a little bit. But gotta say the gimmick kind of gets me. And I also give the guy a lot of respect for putting a lot of guys over in the company too. I mean, he does a lot. He does a lot for WWE, if nothing else. And we saw that again, like they were just saying, with carrying Logan that whole match. I mean, Logan did not look good for a lot of it, especially early on. He looked rusty as hell. But I don't know. I think part of it was predictable. I saw the Prime bottle sitting over there. My buddy was watching it with me, and he's like, "What do you mean there's somebody in that?" I'm like, "Well, there's." I'm like, he's like, "Yeah, there's somebody in there." I'm like, "No, I'm telling you, something's going to happen because you never see a prop sit around the side of the ring like that ever.
Right.
That side of the ring's always cleared out."
Yeah.
And it caught him off guard. I mean, I wasn't expected to be KSI or whatever his name was, but
I had no clue who the hell that guy was.
I was hoping for somebody a little bit more exciting. I was waiting for somebody to be in there that might do something. But overall,
that's what I thought. But
I was happy.
His arms were big enough.
I can't stand Logan. I like Seth. So for me, it was like, watching the whole match, I'm just like, the only excitement for me was, please don't give this fucking match to Logan. I will turn WrestleMania off so goddamn fucking fast.
I would quit watching it. Period.
I think I would have stopped. That's what I was telling my buddy. I'm like, if he loses this match, I was already mad about Cena, by the way. I'm like, if this shit happens, this shit's going off. I'm done.
Oh, Larry, what about you? Because you actually picked Logan Paul.
Yeah, yeah. I must have been drunk. I'm not sure what was going on. The only thing I'll say about this, they should have put this the first match and got it out of the way.
Ooh.
Because it was horrible.
Okay.
Well, it was the third match in.
Yes.
I could, I could have done away with it going first and got it out of the way quicker.
It was definitely what I call a sandwich match. You could have went out to the kitchen and made a sandwich and not missed anything.
Yeah.
Shitter match.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to say. This is a check your email, take a shit until your legs fall asleep match. It should have been the fourth or fifth match. It was long. I just, all I can think is I'm watching Logan cash a check, and he hasn't really done the work. Yeah, he's probably worked out and got in shape, but he's not.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So, I don't want to see it.
Well, the thing is, though, I believe he took AJ Styles' spot, and actually, Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles would have been a hell of a fucking 4-star match. Logan Paul, I look, you can do the buckshot lariat and you could do your high flying shit, but realistically, I know he's an athlete and people say that, God bless him, but he's taken the spot of guys who actually are better. And that's the shame, and that's what's going to happen. And everybody,
that's bullshit. It's straight up bullshit.
Preach, brothers. Preach.
Well, Chris, Donnie, Rich, Shane, and myself, we all took Seth Rollins for this because I did not want to see Logan Paul beat anybody of the caliber of Seth Rollins or anybody. I don't want to see
Snoop Dogg beat up Logan Paul.
Yeah, I don't want to see Logan Paul beat anybody.
I'd rather see Bad Bunny beat up Logan Paul.
I got more respect for Bad Bunny than Logan Paul, actually.
I still don't know who the guy is.
Yeah. Okay, next matchup. Trish Stratus, Lita, and Becky Lynch versus Damage Control. And the winner was Becky's Lynch's team. And Chris, what do you think about this lovely match?
Whoever produced this match needs to take a pay cut. This match got sloppy at times. Lita was definitely off. A lot of her timing was off. There was when they first paired off in the beginning, her first punch wouldn't have knocked flies off a shit. There was nothing on it. It looked like garbage. Her timing was off. The way her makeup looked, it looked like her eyes were swollen shut. She just did not look good in this match.
I noticed that too. I thought they were. I thought they were swelled.
Yeah, it looked like her eyes were swollen shut.
She looked like someone's beat her to shit.
I bet she was.
What do you got? What do you got? So
it was a rough match.
It's probably going to be unanimous
again, and it went a little too long. I think. Okay. With the problems that it had, they should have called an audible, cut it short.
Yeah, Donnie, what do you say? Same thing.
It was okay. I mean, it was like rough at points, but I mean, I knew it wasn't going to be your feel good moment match. So,
okay, Rich.
All right, so BLT versus Damage Control. I got so lazy, I got tired of saying Becky Lynch, Lita, and Trish Stratus. So I just started saying BLT, and that's what I call it now. So if they keep going, it's fucking BLT for days. That being said, some of them are attractive enough. I wouldn't mind being the Mayo there, but we'll get past that. So anyway, I mean, I agree. The match, this one was sloppy. This is like what I feared would happen with the men's tag, which got sloppy. It was way off. That being said, it was cool to see a couple legends come back. They do this all the time at WrestleMania. They always had to force them in there. It's like I was telling him over here, it's like, hey, Shane, John Cena's going to keep coming back because all the legends always come back, even the smaller ones that aren't like top magnitude. But it was okay. I mean, from a kid's, like looking back at, again, if I go from a nostalgic standpoint, sure, it's cool to see Lita and Trish back in there, but overall the match was lackluster. I mean, that's like a 1.5, 2-star match in my opinion. It wasn't great.
Larry?
Sloppy. I got to go with Kristen on that one. Very, very sloppy.
Okay. How sloppy?
On a sloppy scale, 4.9 out of 5.
Okay. Well, Steve Jordan said to Lita, what do you want? She had to have rough sex before getting in a ring. That was Steve was talking about.
She was probably drinking with Jeff Hardy before going out there.
Yeah. Shane, what about you?
Well, when you're eating a BLT and driving, that's going to get messy, and that's exactly, you guys summed it up. It's Becky Lynch. I mean, boy, did the shine come off her. She was fantastic, and she just didn't look as sharp. But I don't know. Was it because she was wrestling with two? I don't want to say older great gals, but that's
They're
probably
older gals. It's okay.
Older gals.
they're older gals.
A little bit of a soggy BLT, I should have said.
Yeah, that's it. It is what it is.
Yep. Well, Chris, Donnie, Rich, and Shane, you guys took the BLT. You took Becky Lynch's team.
I like it. Catching on.
Now, myself, Todd, and Larry, we took Damage Control because I thought Bailey was the better performer, and Becky is subpar. Bailey's on top in my book. But the thing that I actually liked about the match, and I was watching it with my father-in-law, that Trish Stratus's shit was hanging out, and I thought that was the greatest thing in the world.
They were pushed all the way out.
Yeah, so I mean,
I don't know how she got any oxygen.
I don't know what happened. That was the big part. Bailey as a wrestler, Trish Stratus as the satisfaction. I think I got satisfaction watching her upside down with her shit.
I was watching her the whole time.
So, yeah, I was. Right. I'm not gonna lie, people. I'm sorry, this is not a kid show.
No, first of all, you don't have to apologize. You could have. You don't got to apologize. You could have saw them from Google Earth. Those things were out there, man. They were beaming.
And you got to add Bailey's ass.
Well, I think Bailey is one of the greatest wrestling performers, female and probably male. I like Bailey.
She's a good wrestler.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the gimmick. I'm not a fan of her whole. I don't like the way she cuts promos, personally.
Well, me neither. I don't think she has it. She doesn't have the.
She sounds like a little kid in the playground, kind of. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll beat you up. Like, okay, Bailey, you wrestle well. Just you should go mute.
I don't feel her at all. I don't get it.
Well, Jason Reese from Extreme Podcast said the manufacturer of Trish's bra and shirt deserve a raise, and I would agree with that. So we're gonna get to Rey Mysterio versus his son in the old man kick the kid's ass match, Dominic Mysterio. Now, Chris, Donnie, Rich, and Shane had Rey because Rey was the winner. Dominic was Larry, Todd, and myself. So, Chris, real quick, what did you think about this match?
Another surprising match. I wasn't sure the kid was going to be able to hang with the old man. He did. I could see the interference from Damian Priest coming.
I said that was coming. It didn't work to my benefit, though.
When
you guys called it.
When he took his jacket off and laid it on the apron, that looked strange to me. I'm like, something's going on with that jacket. Why didn't he just take it off and throw it down in anger?
Like everybody else does, yeah.
He deliberately put it under the turnbuckle. So I saw a little bit of that coming. But all in all, really good match. Solid performance by Hall of Famer Rey and Dominic.
Okay. Donnie?
Yeah, it was a solid match. It was actually a good match, entertaining. I kind of expected surprises like that. The jacket was a sign, that something that was up there. The favorite part was where he actually threw him into ring post him and started spanking with the belt. That was kind of fun. That was good.
That was great.
That was good stuff.
Yeah. Rich, what about you?
Yeah. I definitely saw the Damian Priest thing coming as well. You don't bring the LWO back for nothing if you're not going to have them guys come out there in the match and do something. I felt like the Low Rider was a nice touch. The Eddie tribute was really cool there. Mm-hmm. That was one of my favorites growing up. I loved him from every aspect, performer, promo. That guy did everything well. So it was really cool to see that happen. But yeah, I think this was the match of Saturday night, in my opinion. Like this to me was probably my favorite. I wasn't a big fan of the main event, to be honest. I really wasn't. So, looking over it, this was probably my favorite match overall. But, yeah, great match. I enjoyed it a lot. It was a really good match.
Okay. Larry, what about you?
I have to agree with Rich. That was probably my favorite match of night one. The entrances were top-notch. I love those entrances. Mm-hmm. They were pretty good.
On both sides.
Both sides, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But, I have to say, that was a great match, I thought.
Okay. Shane, what about you, brother?
I had really low. This is probably the lowest expectations I had of any match. I thought this was just going to be just garbage. I didn't like the storyline. I thought but the intro, and you know what? I have a new admiration for that young man. He wrestled a lot. He did a lot better than I thought he would. And Ray, of course, is always fantastic to watch. He hasn't missed a beat. I mean, he's still a stud in my eyes. But yeah, it was a good match.
See, I thought Dominic did a lot better than I thought, and it was good. Now they used his mom, they used his sister, but the only thing that got to me was nobody was drinking there anyway. And I know you guys, I was bitching about it. I didn't see anybody fucking drinking any beer for $17, but all of a sudden his sister's got a fucking red Solo cup, and they used that as a gimmick in the match. And I'm like, and then he throws it on her. I mean, that was a good.
I saw that coming too.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it from a mile, and I'm like, it's so obvious.
Nobody else is drinking except for her.
Yeah, I mean, nobody else is drinking but her. She's drinking water.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, but I mean, I knew those guys had chemistry because Ray, trained them all his life. That kid, even though he just needs to put a little bit, I think Donnie said put a little bit of muscle on.
Yeah.
He needs to start working out with, Chris and Donnie and to gain some muscle. I think that's the only thing that he's actually missing is a little bit of muscle mass. And everything else, he's getting to be good as a heel. So I appreciate that. And he come out with the mask on, the handcuffs. That looked good. So yeah, that was a better match than what I thought. But I once again took I can't win for shit. But anyway, we're going right to the SmackDown's Women's Championship champion Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley, and the winner and new champion is Rhea Ripley. And Chris, Donnie, Larry, and Todd took Rhea, and Rich, Shane, and myself took Charlotte Flair. So, Chris, what did you think about this match?
This was the main event of night one. I don't give a shit what anyone else says. Just because the Usos and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens went on last doesn't make them the main event.
Absolutely not.
I agree.
This was the main event of night one. Those two tore the house down.
Yeah.
You can see their chemistry. It's easy to see. They're both tremendous workers. Charlotte nearly breaking her face on that.
Oh, that was brutal.
I wish she would have.
Yeah, that looked rough.
But both phenomenal performers, chemistry easy to see, and they put it out there. That was the main event of the night.
Yeah, Donnie, what about you?
Main event.
That's
Clearly,
news. That's
they
news
really
so
did
far.
put it out there, and there was some. It was clean. It was work. There was no bad spots in there. Timing was excellent. Psychology was excellent. I was very happy with it.
Okay, Rich, what about you?
Yeah, like I said, the last match was definitely my favorite match of the night. But I mean, this was definitely more of a main event than what the Usos and KO and Zayn was. It was a good match. I was expecting Charlotte until I kind of started to watch the match a little bit. I'm like, okay, I kind of see where this is going. But no, overall, it was a really good match. I mean, I can't complain. I was happy with it.
Okay, Larry, what about you, brother?
It was a good match. I'm not a big Charlotte fan. I know I told you a few times.
I know.
And I felt like I was watching Marilyn Manson versus Cher.
I love that comment, by the way. I love that. When you messaged that in the chat,
love you, Larry.
I watched the rest of the match seriously after that. That was the end of the match for
If
me.
I
was
could
Cher versus
turn
Marilyn
back
Manson.
time.
If anybody has to write something, anybody out there, the fans are listening, write to Larry Stryker from Extreme Wrestling Podcast, and he'll get back to you on that. Yeah, that was good. I was laughing when he wrote that.
I was cracking up,
man.
man.
I was busting out, man.
Come on, Chris. Give me a little laugh at least.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. I'm laughing on the inside.
Tough crowd.
Oh, it's hey. Okay, Shane, what about you?
This might come across the wrong way, but nothing's worse than having just TNA and then someone that actually can wrestle each other. It's just both these gals are physical. They're specimens. They can wrestle. They can talk the talk, and boy, did they deliver. I mean, when Rhea had Charlotte like by the legs, and her body was looked like a candy cane. They're just fantastic. That's all I can say. I absolutely love the match.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with the top guys, the two tap out gentlemen. I believe this should have been the main event. I thought it was when I wrote it out, but I was mistaken because they probably changed it on the fly. I've always been, Vince. Yep. I've always been a big fan of Charlotte. I think Charlotte is the greatest female worker today. I'm going to take a lot of ball busting by some people, even including my wife. My wife here not a big Charlotte Flair fan, but Charlotte can work, even though she can work, and they put the title on her, and she made Rhea a star because the last time they had that where the best 3 days of Rhea Ripley, and then she just disappeared. Rhea is going to probably hold on to that belt for a while, but the rematches are going to be the rematches are going to be something, and Charlotte knows she got the better of her this time, but she'll come back. But I heard Charlotte's going into bodybuilding.
Yeah.
So I heard that recently. She's going to be starting to train. So it is what it is.
She'll take some time off.
What's cool is, too, though, I just want to add in there, it was really cool to see Charlotte Flair clapping at the end of that match. At the very end, they see everybody wrapping up, and she was there paying homage. And she did release a statement there saying that, the championship was in good hands moving forward and all that, which is pretty awesome. And it looks like they're going to use Rhea to go after Bianca to do something very similar to what Roman's doing with the men's and kind
combine the belts.
And combine the belts and have we already talked about this extensively there, but looks like Rhea is going to be the one to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited to see if they start smushing some of these together and stop making so many damn titles.
I'd rather have a good Survivor Series with 2 different belts, but whatever.
That'll be something to talk about when Survivor Series comes. But now we can talk real briefly. We don't even have to really talk about this. You guys can shit on it. Is Miz calling out and whatever, and Snoop Dogg doing, and Pat McAfee shows up out of nowhere. I love Pat McAfee, but this probably is not even worth talking about. This is a thing to get his views and followers. And they could have built it up a little more with a lot more promotion and a lot more segments. Miz could have actually. The Miz is the MVP, the unsung hero of WWE, because he does whatever, because that's just how he is, and he should actually had a match, like a real match, not this kind of bullshit. So I let's not even fucking waste our time. We're probably all in agreement.
Miz is the mop boy at a peep show.
Listen,
I mean, he's
but
terrible.
I think but Miz will do whatever. I think Miz can talk on a mic and he can work.
But it's sad though, because I was never a fan of his. Again, from a promo standpoint, just him as a person, I was never a big fan of. But he was a good wrestler for the most part. And I feel like now all they use him for is just to make a joke out of himself and put somebody else up. And that's why I can't hold him to a high esteem when you allow yourself. Don't get me wrong. I get that people make those decisions, but at some point you got to put your foot down and say, hey, dude, I'm not going to lose to every single person we bring on. Hell.
Right.
As a great wrestler, multiple time champion, he just got beat up by George Kittle for 10 seconds. Then he gets pinned by Snoop Dogg, and he was getting beat up by.
And I don't give a. I'm not a big. I don't like the fucking 49ers anyway.
Either do I. Fuck the 49ers.
Yeah. But, so I was like, thanks, Kittle.
My Eagles took care of them for you.
Yes, thank you. But that's okay. I got the hat on. But anyway, to the main event, which. Some of us thought the main event was Charlotte versus Rhea. The WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championship, the champions, the Usos versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, the Friends of Lifetime. That's a good story, as we all know. And the winner and new Undisputed Tag Team Champions, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Rich, myself, Shane, and Todd had Sami and Kevin. The Usos was Chris, Donnie, and Larry. Chris, what did you think about this match?
I didn't like this match. This was some indie-rific bullshit. Shawn Michaels was probably back there doing an Undertaker, taping his fist, going, "Throw my fucking finish one more fucking time, ruin it forever, one more, and I'm fucking coming out there." I remember, now this is me, showing my old school.
That's okay.
I remember when the Stunner and the Super Kick won championships, and wasn't used in place of a punch.
Yep.
Yeah, they need to get back to that, I believe.
They threw 937 super kicks. It looked like the Samoan Young Bucks out there. with the pro
You just
wrestling.
gave somebody a new gimmick.
Just did.
Yeah, I probably did. With the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla All-Stars.
Oh.
In let's see how many fucking finishers we can burn match.
That's fucking funny, man.
It was shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
End of my review.
That's
okay,
good.
Chris. So tell us how you really feel about it.
Yeah, how do you really feel?
Donnie,
Donnie,
what about you, brother?
Okay, the reason why I picked the Usos is because they're not going to give you really big. They were going to steal from one feel-good moment to the other. So I had 2 matches where I was really wagering on if the Usos would have went over and Gunther lost, in theory, Cody would have won in the final, but they're not going to give you that. So after those 2 matches went down, I'm like, shit.
Yep.
So as far as the match in general, too many super kicks, too much shitting on finishers. They could have scaled that down to make it better, cleaner. I mean, it was well executed, but you don't need 900 and whatever super kicks. These are finishing moves that the guys before them developed. Finishing moves. You kick out of a couple, but you don't kick out of 100 of them.
Especially when they're in succession like that. I mean, like the super kicks, I think Zayn took like 20 in a row in a matter of 11 seconds. I mean, it was like...
Well, and if I can add one more thing, like
in the head.
Sami Zayn completely shit on the Usos finish. If you watch that match back, they hit the 1D, go for the cover, 1, 2, kick out. He's back on his feet. Not 2 seconds later, walk into the corner.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is you saying, I don't give a fuck about your finish or anybody's finish. I'm trying to get to the next spot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Back in the day, you shit on a guy's finish like that, he'd have broke your fucking leg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question off Cantor there, Chris.
Okay.
Boy, you seem like a booker. You seem like a booker man. I like that. No. Well, if I ever run a company, I'm coming to you, brother.
But I agree. I agree, though. I mean, Stone Cold won how many championships with the stunner, and how many times did HBK
mover.
have some great matches?
It's a finisher.
Yeah, you got to stop doing that.
They need to stop doing that, but they won't because everybody is got short attention spans, and they don't even build up to the stunner, and they don't build up to the super kick. When Shawn Michaels that was it. They weren't fucking maybe 2.
Felt like a video game.
Fucking 900, not 925.
It felt like a video game.
The Young Buck.
It felt like a video game is what it felt like. I mean, it felt like somebody put the settings on, this team getting all the finishers,
Turbo.
This team starting off with none, and it was just nonstop finisher. That's all it was.
Yeah. Larry, what about you, brother?
I love the super kick party.
Jesus.
You are
Larry.
Come on, Larry.
It's this?
I still can't get a laugh out of Chris. I still can't.
I know. I'm laughing like you're doing stand up, and Chris is not budging one.
He's not.
There is no crack or smile or anything.
But I thought for me it was too much, too many super kicks, and I like the Young Bucks, but that's another day.
Shane, what about you, brother?
You guys covered it.
Okay.
Chris took care of the whole thing for all of us, really. We don't have to say anything else.
Well, Robbie says it's a different era of wrestling, and now it ain't hardcore like it used to be. It doesn't need to be hardcore like it used to be, Robbie. It just needs to be old school. And the finisher was a finisher, not 35 fucking super kicks to the head and 10 stunners. That's just ridiculous.
If you don't mind me adding, it's funny because I was actually watching, and I was talking to you guys a little bit in the chat about this today. I was watching WrestleMania 20 earlier today, and there was Triple H, HBK, and Chris Benoit for the World Heavyweight Championship, right? And those guys are bleeding, and they're all beat to hell. Triple H is beat to hell. HBK's beat to hell. Benoit. And there really wasn't that many finishers in that match. Like, there was a couple here and there that got broken out of whatever. But there was a long gap in between the finisher and when somebody got back up. Or, it didn't feel like it was nonstop.
Right.
It's sad. Yeah.
So to add off of that, to reply to the viewer, I'm not saying that, it was a bad, modern style match, because there's a difference between a modern style match and what that was.
Yep.
Wrestling made the most money, because it doesn't make the most money now compared to back in the heyday. Wrestling made the most money when it was 2 guys looking like they were in a legitimate fight. That did not look like a legitimate fight. That looked like a stunt show.
Well.
Who got Chris started tonight?
Well, yeah. Well, Chris was 5 out of 8. Donnie was 5 out of 8. Larry was 2 out of 8. Rich was 4 out of 8. Shane was 5 out of 8. I thought Shane was doing good. Todd was 3 out of 8, and yours truly was 2 out of 8.
Whoa, you're 4 for 14, Bubba. Keep it going, baby.
I fucking suck. I suck so bad I lost the sheet for the fucking second night.
So
You picked from the heart, Bubba, not from the head. That's
I'm a Steelers fan.
I did that at Royal Rumble, and you saw what happened when I did that at Royal Rumble. Okay,
I do that all the time.
I knew Sammy wasn't winning that goddamn match.
Shane picked Britt Baker. He was picking from the heart. He's like,
yeah.
I'm taking Eddie Guerrero next time. That's who I'm taking.
Okay, so let's start off. I might have lost your guys. I got the final results, but I lost my sheet, so we're gonna ad lib it here. So we are gonna go Brock Lesnar versus Omos.
I think we all took the same
and I believe all of us took Brock. If I remember correctly, all of us took Brock. And do we want Chris? If you got something to say about this match, we'll go real quick.
Just very briefly. Omos looked almost unbelievably dominant in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like Brock was more on the sell for Omos than I think anybody even thought he was going to be. And then on the lighter fun side of things, I think it needed more suplexes.
Okay, yeah. Well,
when the show goes to Suplex City, I want to see the entire tour of the city. Like,
I hear you.
Yeah.
Donnie, what about you, brother?
Yeah, Brock gave him a lot. I mean, it was pretty much what I expected. But I did expect him to suplex him and put him up on his shoulders. That's the bottom line. So,
yeah, when he did that, I was like, damn. But I mean, wow. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I felt like it was weird because they actually made it seem like he never fought Big Show and he didn't F5 Big Show once upon a time. Yeah. They made it seem like, oh my God, there's
Big
a huge
Show,
difference.
Mark Henry.
They kept saying Brock Lesnar's not used to this kind of a size advantage. I'm like, are you sure? We can roll the tape real fast if you want. I'm pretty sure he's done this before.
A-Train, Matt Morgan, Tensai, name it.
But then I thought about it. They had to do that to make it seem like because they knew that Amos was going to dominate early, and you can't explain that if you go back and say, oh, he's already done this before. Then it just looks weird. But yeah, I mean, it was a 5-minute match. So I think that's appropriate. I mean, I don't think it was a match that anybody was dying to watch. So I think it was good of them to make that pretty quick. I think they regretted it, though, because later on in the night, all the injuries that happened, which we'll get to, I'm sure. But maybe they should have had to go a little bit longer. But either way.
Any longer would have exposed Omos.
That's what I thought, too. They were doing it to cover his ass.
It would have shown you that. It would have shown you that his arsenal isn't very deep.
And can I say that might have been the most unenthusiastic choke slam I've ever seen in my life from any wrestler of all time. That was so bad. It looked like he just dropped him. I mean, I don't know what that was. Something I would do to my kid on like a giant pillow fort or some shit. Just like, that's all I would do. It was bad.
Okay.
That was bad.
Lair, what about you, Lair? What'd you think of that match?
I thought the match went 4 minutes too long.
Lesnar comes out at 5. It's over.
It was horrible. Horrible.
Gotcha. Shane, what about you?
Yeah, it didn't hit well for me. It was I'm over Brock Lesnar. I mean, he's a monster, but it's just like you said, he's wrestled these guys before that were monstrous, and then all of a sudden they're building it up like it's Ivan Drago and Rocky. Oh, come on,
Yeah, I just thought him picking him up, suplexing him and picking him up, and ended it was quick. I didn't think they were going to open the show with it, but what do I know? So okay, so the second match was Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Natalya. Oh, I got it right this time. Natalya. Yeah. And Shotzi versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville. And the winners was Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, who didn't do a goddamn thing. So, Chris, what's your take on that match? And I'll try to remember. And let me know. And remember, if you remember who you picked, please do, because I lost my lovely sheet.
I got that one right.
I won the first two of the night on Sunday.
Go. So go ahead, Chris.
Okay, so I picked Rousey and Baszler, who won. The match, all in all, wasn't bad. Was it as good as the men's Fatal 4-Way? No. I think they tried to take it more seriously, I think, than the guys did, and kind of really weren't kind of thinking about where they were in the show. I think the finish was definitely an audible. Baszler was definitely hurt. So that just kind of it felt weird and choppy. I think because it was an audible that they just tried to cover at the very end.
Do we know what happened to her? Like, what did she injure?
It looked like Raquel Rodriguez got knocked off the apron, and if you watch when she gets knocked off the apron, it looks like she lands right on Rousey's shin or Baszler's shins, like right at the ankle.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, okay. High ankle.
Yeah, it looked like she didn't get, Baszler maybe wasn't close enough to the ring, or she didn't get as far off the apron as she wanted to, but she pretty much landed like right at her ankle.
They didn't announce it yet. They just said that she was definitely limping in quotes after the match was over. So
nobody pulls their kick pad up and takes their shoe off in the middle of a match unless they're hurt.
Right. Yeah. Donnie, what about you?
It was all right. I mean, I wasn't really into that match, so that's kind of why I picked what I picked. But
and you picked Ronda and Baszler? No,
I should have initially.
You took you took Rodriguez and
Liv. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I lost my paperwork now, and I don't want to. I'm going to go off my memory. So, okay. So, okay. Rich, what about you?
I agree. It definitely was ad-libbed. I think the best way you can tell is Ronda Rousey did not get nearly enough screen time in that match, and that never happens unless something's wrong. I think that match was drawn up to be at least 10, 15 minutes longer, especially if you think about how much filler there was. Maybe not 15, but maybe another 10. Think about after that, all the promos they were cutting and pulling. I don't think Bobby Lashley was even planning to come out initially, but either way, it was a good match. I mean, it wasn't phenomenal by any means, but it was definitely good. There was some good movesets in there. I thought the Liv Raquel combo grows on me more and more every time I see it. So I think it's overall, I thought it was pretty good. I just definitely wish that I would have saw what the original plan was for that ending. I think that's what we missed out on. And that's kind of why we're sitting here like, what the fuck was that? Nice build up, but then there was a flat finish. So kind of shitty there.
Larry?
I'm glad Chris mentioned about Baszler's boot coming off, because I was wondering why she was bootless.
Yep.
I must have nodded off because I wasn't
right there at the very end.
Nodded off.
Yeah, I was trying to revive my goldfish. He was drowning in this match. At this point.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
And I can't fucking remember who I picked.
I think you picked. Sonya Deville. Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville.
Oh, that's right, I did.
Yeah, so that's why I picked
them. You could see Chelsea sneaking in at the end and rolling her up.
Well, I picked my two gals because the fierce flock of seagulls eye makeup, and I thought that they would dominate. And it's unfortunate that one of them got hurt, but no, all seriousness, the fact that she got hurt, seriously, yeah. I hope she's okay. Hope it's not serious, but yeah, it probably I thought it probably would have went longer if she wouldn't have gotten hurt, and it did. Now that you mention it, I do look back and think about the filler. Oh, why the hell did he come out and just show his belt? I mean, that was strange, but.
Well, I just think that Chelsea and Sonya Deville actually looked like a good tag team.
Yeah.
They were doing some tag matches. They were doing some tag, some tags, some double teams, pretty good. Rousey, all the money that you paid, she really didn't do too much, and I think that
didn't
ending,
get a chance.
Yeah, that ending botched everything up, and I knew Baszler was hurt. So yeah, I'm okay. They could have had whatever. So I mean, it don't matter.
And even if you want to foreshadow in the Monday night, obviously she was definitely hurt because they didn't even think to use them for the tag team title qualifier or whatever. I think that's what the original idea was to get those two. But,
yeah. Yeah. Well, Craig from Patton, thanks for tuning in. We didn't cover it about. We will cover it about the oil can Harry here later on. We're trying to get done with our WrestleMania second night and go right into a little bit of the merger real quick and our thoughts on that shitty last night's performance. So yes, we will definitely talk about oil can Harry. Yes, hanging out with Dudley Do Right. So this next match. This match was fucking phenomenal. This was besides the main, this was the match of probably all night. The Intercontinental Championship match with Gunner versus Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. And everybody except for Todd probably took Sheamus.
My titties still hurt from watching it,
yeah,
Bubba. Right here, I feel a little.
Gunner.
I feel a little bit sore.
I know I took Gunner. Chris, what do you got about this match? Because I think you took Gunner also.
I took Gunther. Yes.
Gunther.
Gunther.
I was glad that Michael Cole made the reference to the working man's title.
Yes.
For the IC belt. Because that's traditionally what it is. You know, one of your best workers, if not the best worker on your roster, carries the IC title. That being said, chops hurt. They threw a fucking lot of them. You could tell the three of those guys got together in the locker room and were like, all right, boys, let's go out there and kick the fuck out of each other, and we'll all shake hands and drink beers later.
And
29.5 chops,
and everybody
man.
went, sounds good. And they went out and kicked the shit out of each other.
Yes, they did.
That being said, the only other thing about this match, and it was a recurring theme throughout the night one and then again night two, the advertisements for Mike's Lemonade and Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal and all this other bullshit on the fucking ring aprons and the
Good
turnbuckle
sponsorship.
post is fucking bullshit.
Yeah. Money talks, I guess.
Yeah, money talks.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Well, you could talk about the awful Mountain Dew blackout match they had at Elimination Chamber. That was pretty bad, too.
I tried not to. That looked like it happened in the back of a Spencer's.
They got Where's the adult section, I ask?
Donnie, what was your take on this match, Donnie?
I love that match.
I figured you would.
Yeah,
I really did. I picked Gunter, and I thought it was real. I thought it came together. Nice stiff match. It looked fun.
Oh, something you would like to do. Smoke, what about you, brother?
I loved it. I mean, it threw me through a couple of loops there because, I mean, it looked like it was going to go one way, then it looked like it was going to go the other way. And, you know, I went into it. The reason why I took Sheamus was I thought Drew was going to let him have it at some point. I thought there was going to be a moment where Drew kind of like maybe, I don't know. I thought something was going to happen, though, in there where maybe it didn't push as hard. But I'm actually happy it didn't happen. So in this case, with how the match went, I'm happy it was a hard fought all the way through from all three. I was happy that nobody gave anybody anything. I mean, well, except for an ass whooping. 29.5 chops on the side. Kudos to McIntyre for taking that. But yeah, overall, great match. I mean, again, a couple extra finishers here and there, I felt like, but it was a longer match, so it was a little bit more stretched out. And the guys weren't getting right back up. I mean, the reason why I knew Gunther was going to win at the end was he disappeared for a good 5 minutes and nobody saw him. And then once I saw at the end the pin, I'm like, okay, here comes Gunther, and boom, there he goes. I'm like, yep, saw that coming, but still a great match. And it's hard to say that when you predict something. Usually it kind of ruins it, but no, it was still just as good. Great match. Loved
Larry, what about you, bud?
Yeah, I liked it. It was a good match, you know, amongst the big men.
Larry, what does your sign? What does your sign say? Jason Reese says, "What's the sign say?" Because it's blurry. What does it say?
It says JJ eats corn the long way.
Oh. Well, hey, you got. Put some butter on it, I guess. But anyway, so and who did you pick? Do you remember?
Gunther.
Okay, Gunther. Okay, good match.
Yeah. I liked it. I mean, I couldn't take all them chops. I mean, I can take a Coleman chop, but not all them chops.
How many Coleman chops can you take there, Larry?
I'll see you on the 15th.
Yeah,
I think I'm busy that day, Chris, but I'll take a rain check.
Well, you're eating a fucking pickle pizza, and you're getting a chop from hell. Shane, what about you, brother? What do you think about this match?
It hit hard. It was a good one. I picked Drew. You know, just because I'm a fan, but all three of those guys, you know, it was just like stiff, tough. It was fantastic. It was my favorite of the night.
That was something. The 29 chops that Sheamus gave Drew was just unbelievable. The hardness, the stiffness of Gunther, and Gunther is a future world champion. I believe that, and I do like. I always like Drew McIntyre. He didn't get his just due reward during their COVID time. I don't know if he'll ever get that again. I think his contract is going to be up very, very soon, I believe, from what I read. I don't know.
Bubba, wasn't he released? Was he released during COVID?
No, he was not.
No.
He was released many years ago. He was released many years ago and worked his way up in Evolve and Impact Wrestling, and he went to NXT. And
That's when he had
that
his
shit.
baby face with the
Yeah,
beard or
so-
anything. Yeah.
What Bubba's alluding to with him being kind of messed up with the COVID is Drew is one of those performers that really feeds off a live audience.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And with him being champ in empty arena matches, it really kind
He
of
just didn't get his just due.
It stifled him. Yeah.
Yes. And I wish he would get one more opportunity. I thought when he wrestled Roman Reigns over in Scotland, it was a great match. And these three put on something that it was just something that every wrestler out there should fucking put on. If you're gonna chop somebody, you chop them. If they can't take a chop, go down to fucking Bilo and bag groceries or make my fucking blizzard at Dairy Queen. Because if you can't chop or can't take a chop and give a chop, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. Dominic and Tanzerini, thanks for tuning in. So let's get to this other match. It is for, let me get to my thing here, the Raw Women's Championship, the champion Bianca Belair versus Asuka. And the winner and still champion is Bianca Belair. Chris, who did you take and what did you think of the match?
I had Bianca Belair in this match. I thought this match didn't quite have the chemistry that the SmackDown Women's match did. Also, now the entrances are great and everything, but you could tell the star power from Charlotte and Rhea versus Bianca and Asuka. Charlotte and Rhea didn't need elaborate kabuki warriors and dance numbers and shit like that to get over. They're over.
Right.
They didn't need big elaborate entrances to do their thing. They went out. That being said, it looked like in a lot of those exchanges that they weren't real comfortable with each other's offense. At one point, when Bianca's raining the 10 punches down on Asuka in the corner, Asuka's literally got her head fed all the way through, and Bianca is punching her in the back of the head. That tells me she doesn't trust Bianca's punches. She doesn't trust the strikes. A lot of the kicks, they were getting caught well in advance.
Yes.
It looked like there wasn't the chemistry there, that they didn't trust one another like Charlotte and Rhea did.
Gotcha. Donnie, what about you and who did you take, Donnie?
I took Bianca because I didn't see them dropping a strap from her.
Okay. What did you think of the match?
Same thing. It wasn't the chemistry didn't match up as far as how clean, how precise, the timing, and the trust issues. As far as that goes, I had a feeling they weren't going to have the chemistry to make this match work. But I figured if anybody could do it, Asuka could do it. But I think,
Rich, what about you, brother?
I wasn't thrilled by this one, truthfully. And this was, and my thought process going in was one of the women's championships was going to switch hands. The other one wasn't. So I did take Charlotte. I took Charlotte to retain Saturday night. So I took Asuka just because I took Charlotte. But I did lose this. One. Again, had I predicted the first one right, I would have predicted this one right as well. But in the end, yeah, I wasn't thrilled by this one. I thought it was a night and day difference. I didn't think it had the same pop to it. And overall, not the worst match. Don't get me wrong, but it definitely wasn't. It wasn't my favorite at all.
Gotcha.
And I do want to finish that off by saying kudos to that little girl, though. I heard that Triple H thing. That little girl lost her mom that morning, and I could never imagine being in front of 80-some thousand people and with a smile on my face the entire time.
Yeah, she's she's a superhero right there, man.
And Shane, you look confused.
Who
saw it? So there was a little girl. When Bianca comes out and she's dancing with those little girls in the beginning. The one that she was specifically dancing with for a lot of it, her mom actually passed away that morning.
Oh.
So that little girl's mom just passed in the morning of, and she still said, "No, I want to have my opportunity. I don't want to waste it."
Nah, man, now I can't shit all over that. I was going to shit all over that.
She had the biggest smile on her face.
Yeah,
she was thrilled to be there.
Thank God you did.
I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine being there after something like that happening. So I give that little girl a lot of respect. A lot of props.
Of all time, Shane should have went first on this.
Oh, I know.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll jump in front of you, Larry, since I opened my mouth. No, seriously, it was like a Broadway play in the beginning. I thought I got talked into going to Cats or some shit. It was just, I didn't like it. And then, I had the same thought process Rich did. Is I thought Charlotte was going to keep her title, and I thought it was going to change hands here. but I don't know nearly as much about wrestling as you guys do. Not even close.
Did you see
But
my
I could
fucking
tell.
picks? I don't know a goddamn.
Me either.
fucking
But I
thing.
could tell.
Me either.
That it just. I know it looked like a Lifetime movie, and at times I thought it was terrible.
Well,
Homework.
yeah.
Yeah, there you
Don't
go.
ever sell yourself
Hallmark's
short,
work,
Shane.
okay.
Don't ever sell yourself short, because at the end, when I give all the whole results of everything, don't ever sell yourself short. When these
Yeah, I got the first two, and then it just dropped off for this for
well,
To
the
be-
second
to be-
night.
To be fair, Shane, real fast, it is fair to shit on it a little bit because that plan was already in motion before the little girl's mom passed away.
Yeah.
So
I
it
mean,
was
she
gonna
did a good
happen-
job.
It was gonna
I mean,
happen
she
no
should be
matter
on
what.
Broadway. That little girl should be dancing at Broadway. It's not her dancing. It was
Yeah.
it was just over the top. It's
Yeah.
not. There's
Right.
a time and a place. The low rider, that was cool. That fit. There's certain things that fit. When the Undertaker came out, when he kind of changed his gimmick up and he was on the bike for the first time, that's good.
Holding the ATV.
Yeah, there you go.
So Lara, let's get to your what do you think about this lovely match?
Well, I believe I took the L on this one. I think I picked
You took
Asuka.
Yeah, I feel your pain.
I did too.
Yeah.
With you,
I did
brother, I'm
too.
with you.
It wasn't a bad match. I mean, it was what it is. I wasn't expecting much from it, and that's it.
Bianca's just not my favorite competitor in the world from a female
No.
standpoint, so.
I think she's better. Jade Cargill and her have the similarities, but Bianca's a little better. But I knew as soon as Asuka and the fucking Kabuki Mist did not hit the thing, I knew I was fucked. I knew right there I was fucked. So other than that, and I like Asuka, I like her attire, and I love Japanese wrestlers anyway with that mist and just the mysterious
muta.
of the Orient. And I'm okay with that, but I picked Asuka, and I'm a loser, and I suck at picking WrestleMania picks. So we are going to the next match.
Don't sell yourself short. You
Oh
screwed up on
no,
the ROH
I got to be
too.
hard on myself, Rich. Now this next match, nobody knew. Fucking Miz, Snoop Dogg, real quick. Shane come out, blew his fucking ACL, terrible, and Snoop Dogg had to audible, and it was the referee that audibled it. And Snoop Dogg did the worst fucking people's elbow I ever
Oh
seen
my
because he was high.
God.
But the prop was
like-
for Snoop
like-
Dogg to save it so it didn't look bad. And Shane McMahon, don't ever do anything ever a fucking again. You could have brought somebody else out. You could have had LA Knight come out and challenge the Miz. You could have had Stone Cold come out and challenge the Miz, and then LA Knight come out and they could have did a promo. I'd have been okay with that. I just thought it was God bless Snoop Dogg, smoke the fucking roll a joint, roll big fatty. And we'll just
Don't wrestle
move
ever
on
again.
because we all figured, hey, it was the Miz just terrible. Poor Miz.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I want to say though is I thought it was pretty funny how they tried to sell on Monday Night Raw last night. Miz said that he beat Shane so bad that he couldn't finish the match, and I'm like, oh come on, man, we
Hey,
all know what happened, you
that's-
son of a bitch.
That is a heel getting heat.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I beat you so bad your old man felt it there. But anyway, let's go to the Hell in a Cell. Edge versus the Demon Finn Balor. The winner was Edge. The big fucking cut on fucking Finn Balor's head. He had to get fucking taped up in a botched maneuver. And what did you think? And who did you take, Chris, on this match?
I took Edge. And
You're a winner.
This match was a lot for me.
A lot in a bad way or a lot in a good way?
A lot in a bad way. I feel like there was too much going on with the weapons. They kind of relied a little too heavily on that.
Yeah.
Again, this is one of the few matches during both nights that kind of lost my interest for a while. I kind of got distracted from this one for a little bit. A wise man once said you have to be careful working with furniture because furniture doesn't know how to work.
True.
So that gash that got opened up on Finn Balor's head shows you the ladder doesn't know it's not supposed to cut you.
Yeah, that was terrible.
So you have to be careful when working with all that crazy shit.
You could see that it was real too. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was bad.
So he was bleeding like a stuck hog. It was crazy. That being said, like I said, it was a little bit too much for me
Gotcha.
as far as that goes.
Gotcha. Donnie, real quick, who did you take and what did you think of the match?
I took Edge. This needs to end the feud. It could have been over a lot sooner than this, but yeah, they didn't need the weapons to showcase what they could really do in the ring.
Yeah, those lovely colored kendo sticks were fucking awesome, weren't they? That was great. That was great. Great.
Some things aren't
Fairy
necessary to
party
make
out
a
there,
great match.
Yeah, my father-in-law real quick's like, "What is that? That doesn't hurt." And I was like, "Oh, Butch." I said, "You can hit with a kendo stick if it's done right. It will fuck you up, Butch. It all depends on who's hitting it, and it all depends if it's gimmicked right. And if it ain't
Tiki
gimmicked
Torch's
right,
Splinter.
yeah, no doubt." Rich, what did you think about the match, and who did you take?
I took Edge, and I liked him the whole way through there. I agree. I mean, that was my only main complaint. If they would have gotten rid of some of the weapons, I think a lot of it was solid. It's just for a legend like Edge, I would have liked to see him use his repertoire a lot more than just the bullshit kendo stick. And I also made it very clear last week, I was never a big fan of the demon fucking personality thing. I know some people love it and eat it up, but for me, I think it's a little bit extra. But overall, I thought Edge did a great job in that match. So did Finn, but yeah, again, that ladder thing, I didn't know it was real until after the fact. I was watching the replay. I'm like, pretty sure that rung actually fucking hit him in the head.
Yeah, it was bleeding like a
yeah,
stuffed pig.
blood
Yeah,
was like fake blood. You could tell by the way that it was like settled under the mat. I'm like, yeah, that's not fake blood. That's not smearing and everything like it usually, whatever.
Yeah.
But no, it was a good match. I wish that they would have used a little bit less weaponry and just let Edge explore that.
Gotcha. Larry, what about you, and who'd you take offhand? Because I fucked up and lost the fucking sheet that I had.
I took Balor, I believe. I liked the match. Like Yinzer was saying, it was a little bit way too much with the weapons, but I enjoyed the match. I liked it. That ladder spot was brutal.
Oof.
God.
Probably got a concussion. I bet you got a concussion out of that. You don't even know what fucking.
He missed that rung by a lot too. It wasn't even like it was close. I mean, that was like dead center of the head. I mean, it wasn't even slightly.
So
the ladder.
Chris, Donnie, and Bubba, with teams all being in the ring, who's at fault there? Is that Edge throwing the ladder, or is it Balor's?
Or is it both for just not being in the right spot? Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yeah.
It's
kind
hard
of
when
both. Yeah, I mean, it's hard. Like having been in hardcore matches and things like that. You need the guy to bring it, or otherwise it's not going to look right.
Yeah, not going to sell.
You got to be ready for that situation,
right? But you got to be ready for it. You got to know it's coming and protect yourself.
You don't take your whole head and fucking take a ladder spot like that. Like, hey, like, no, it don't work.
At least be close. At least don't miss it by a lot. I mean, geez,
but also back in the day,
lean into it, right?
But back in the day, real quick, if you would have fucking put your hand back then, when you took a chair shot, you didn't put your fucking hands up because you'd have broke your goddamn wrist. You'll get your wrist broke back in the day. You either took the head shot and took it like a man or a professional wrestler should, or your bag of groceries at fucking Bilo and serving me a blizzard, because you'll break your fucking wrists. And if you didn't take it head on, and Chris and Donnie can attest to that, you'd have been considered, you have to bring it in a hardcore match. If you don't bring it, they're going to fucking bring it, and you got to bring it just as well. So, yeah, I don't like ladder. My fucking Dago ass ain't getting on a ladder and climbing anywhere, Larry. So I'm good. I'll throw the ladder and do whatever, but I ain't climbing anywhere. So, hey, Shane, what did you think of this match, and who did you take real quick?
Well, I took the Demon, and I think I think the ladder's in concussion protocol. I'm hoping it's going to be okay. It's
he probably got under the red. He got under the blue tarp. They probably put him under the blue tarp and picked him out.
They're a step short on that one because it's that I don't know that ladder, man. It hit him and cut him open. Yeah. It gets to the point, and this is just me. It just becomes uncomfortable. Like I know it's real. Like I know that's real blood, and it's just like, I start worrying. I turn into,
your dad.
Yeah, Dad. You're getting it on the carpet.
Me and Chris and Donnie, when we see that and we see that blood, it's not supposed to be like that. We know something went too intense. Like I knew.
Well, I know when you cut the head. I know when you. This is funny. I before I got a gas operated weed eater, I had one with a cord, and it got caught in a rock, and I pulled on it, and the cord stuck in my head. And when I pulled it out, it was sticking. Blood was gushing out, and so it's one of those things. You just like you bleed a lot, when there's just a little hole.
Oh my god!
That cord did so much more damage than you realized. You thought you patched it up.
That was a whole hell of a lot.
That was a V-bed from April 2005 that happen. Actually, today's the anniversary of it. So.
Oh, there you go.
Well, I'm glad we had an anniversary on the Mania Megacast. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna have to go. Maybe I'm gonna have to ask you, Larry, and you, Chris, offhand. Was this the first time that the Demon fucking lost? Because usually when the Demon wrestles, he always wins.
Yep.
Is this the first time that he lost as the Demon?
I believe so.
I also believe that is the case.
Because he went in that personality, when he went in that persona, he was coming up a winner, and that's why I took
That's why
that.
I picked him. That's why I picked him.
But in every other instance, Finn was the babyface.
So just so you know, I just
True.
looked it up
Okay.
True.
quickly.
Good point.
I'll just to let you know quickly, the WWE perfectly protected this Demon King gimmick as he never lost a fight in this character. So that is true. Before WrestleMania, the Demon, Finn Balor, never lost.
That's why I took Finn as the Demon, because the Demon always whatever. I thought it was. I think the cage could have been used more. The Hell in a Cell was not used as much as it should have been.
Yep.
The lovely, like I said, the lovely fucking crayon colored kendo sticks were terrible. I don't know where they get that at.
The color coded chairs were nice.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Maybe they got them from Cobra Kai or something. I don't know. What's Craig say here? Let me see here, Craig. I think that the Demon.
They did.
Yeah. I think that match was.
That's going to be a good movie.
Because truth be told, it didn't make any sense to have it otherwise. There was never a mention of it between him and Edge on a promo. There was never a time where Edge came out as brood. None of that. It didn't make any sense.
And I think they promoted on the second night. The Pope Exorcist was promoted
the night of the match. Yeah.
The night before it was Snickers.
Yep.
But they didn't have anybody doing. I mean, Kevin Owens was eating half a bag of Snickers. I mean, I'm sure I would in front of the TV. I'm sure.
And just so you guys know, I just saw something here. Apparently, in 2016 on NXT, he actually lost the only match as the Demon to Samoa Joe. So he did lose once 7 years ago.
Well, then he's got two. Okay.
But they tried to mask it up. They act like he never did. So.
Okay. Well, I know Donnie had to step out for a second, but we're gonna go, and when we get him, he'll be the last one. We got the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, Roman Reigns, the champion, versus Cody Rhodes. And the only person that took Roman Reigns was Vinny Chooch, Double D's son, who picked it, and that's why Double D took Roman Reigns. So hats off to Vinny Chooch, because Vinny Chooch has picked major pay-per-views. When we did the show, Triple B Double D heavyweight podcast shows, Vinny Chooch actually picked Otis to take the Money in the Bank match. That's 2 times that he's taken big. This kid is a big-time prognosticator. So Todd, on his son's behalf, took Roman Reigns. He was the only one. We all took Cody Rhodes. I was pissed. I'm sure as Rich was there too. He just threw his headphones off. He was pissed too. So, Chris, we know who you took, but what did you think of the match?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I took Cody. I thought they were gonna do that title change. Beyond that, I thought, again, it was a very good match. It built well. They kind of towards the end, it started to drag a little bit, but they picked it back up towards the end. There was a little bit where it was like, okay, how many finishes are we going through, guys?
Right.
And then the Usos came out, and then Solo came back out, and Sammy and all that stuff. And I realized, when you have on the timesheet beside your names, we don't give a shit. You're gonna go out there and put together as long a match as you want, and you need a lot of stuff to fill that time.
Right.
So that being said, I took the roller coaster ride during the match. I thought it was very good. Now I had heard that they the folks with the Puerto Rican Film Guild or whatever, someone in the Puerto Rican government wanted Roman to have the belt for the Backlash pay-per-view, so that he would have the 1,000-day reign going into that pay-per-view.
Okay.
For that historic pay-per-view, first pay-per-view in Puerto Rico. So did that affect the booking? Maybe. Or maybe it was hey, Cody, you didn't think you could go away and start a company and run against us and come back and get given everything, did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think it was that. I think it was that. And I got some people saying some stuff before we get in a little bit more into the Jason Reese says Asuka is 0-5 at WrestleMania, he believes. Robbie said the second night wasn't that good. And Robbie also said the Demon has 2 losses, one against Roman Reigns.
I disagree.
Is Robbie drunk?
I don't know.
I disagree
Steve
with the
Montgomery,
Sunday
thanks for
comment.
tuning in.
I thought Sunday was much better than Saturday.
Yes.
Saturday felt like Raw. Sunday felt like WrestleMania, and then Monday felt like NXT or some shit.
Yeah. I just think they could do.
Actually, that might be an insult to NXT. I take that back. That was
Yeah,
like
it's true.
some terrible fucking group. I don't
They're
know.
never going to do. They're never
That
going
might
to
have
do.
been 2.0 NXT.
They're never going to do one night ever again because they make more money with 2. It's never ever going to happen again.
But it
So you're
ruined
going to
it.
get a couple. You're going to get a couple matches on each night that's actually good, and
Ruined
you're going
it.
to have some filler matches, and that's how it's going to be for the rest of my lovely life and existence here. So Donnie, I know you went with Cody Rhodes. What did you think of the match? Because Rich threw his fucking headphones down, and what's your take on that match, Donnie?
It was a good match, and I figured there was going to be a lot of interference. With this match, I really did pick with my heart, truly, because I believe in Cody's story and the whole history and everything like that. You know,
I did too.
plus, you know, there was real elements of old school there.
Yeah.
I was not surprised, needless to say,
Okay.
because it didn't swerve us anywhere else. So it's like, oh, here it comes.
And it came too, like a big, giant, big, yes. Yeah.
So I look at those indicator matches, you know, things that set other things up, and I'm like, oh, it's not looking good.
Yeah.
I did not like this one, fellas. I can tell you that.
That's why they call it Swervemania.
Yeah.
I was
Swervemania.
livid. I
And
was
it had
livid.
Vince written all over it. So
I didn't even turn the TV off. I just went upstairs, went to bed, left the TV running all damn night. I didn't even turn it off. I was just so pissed off. I just went upstairs, went to bed. My buddy was downstairs though, so I don't know if he turned it off or not. But
Robbie says
I'm out.
Robbie says Extreme Rules 2001. Roman beat the Demon, and I'm not drunk
You
to
mean
go
2020,
look it up. That's what he
It's not
said.
2000.
Well,
it's
Robbie,
definitely not
okay, cool.
2001.
Yeah.
Robbie.
2021. Roman beat the Demon.
Yeah.
I'm not too drunk to
okay.
look it up.
I
So-
thought you said 2001. I was like, holy
Oh.
shit, Roman was like 11.
no, yeah. So
um,
keep going, Rich.
my big fucking problem with it was you build this whole fucking story, you try to sell this fucking story, and like don't get me wrong, I get you got to pull some plot twists and you got to swerve things up, and I fully get that. I don't know. It's just you sell this whole fucking thing for as long as you do, and you just kind of pull out the rug on that, and you just give it back to fucking Roman. And like I told you guys in the chat, my biggest fucking concern is when do you eventually take it, and who do you let take it? Because at this point, it's very obvious they're not ready to give it up. And hopefully you're right. Hopefully it's just some, the Puerto Rico thing. Hopefully he either loses it then or, whatever. My problem is, and to me, I don't see him losing that title outside of a WrestleMania. I just don't see it happening. I don't see him losing that in a regular PLE. I think the only way they take that title from Roman is at a WrestleMania in a main event, and I just don't know who it's going to be. I don't know what year that's going to be, but
it would be one of the big four.
Yeah, it has to be.
WrestleMania, Survivor Series, SummerSlam.
Right.
Royal
It has
Rumble.
to be. But I just feel like the number one, the one that I would imagine it being would just be WrestleMania.
I can't do
And
another year of that.
and I've been seeing all kinds
I
of
want to do
rumors.
another year of it.
Yeah, I can't do. I mean, for me, and not to be a dick, but and I'll finish up here in a second. Is I don't find him to be that exciting. Like he's a good wrestler. Don't get me wrong, but he's not he's not appealing like some of the other guys have been over the years. Like love seeing or hate seeing it. He was at least either fun to hate or fun to love. Like he was always very vocal. He was kind of exciting to an extent, at least from a promo perspective. I mean, the Roman thing's just gotten old for me. I mean, the years are going on and on. I'm like, okay, dude, it's time to wrap this up and give somebody else a shot. These guys are all working their asses off, and I can name probably 4, 5, 6 guys that definitely deserve a chance to be in that mix. And the longer you hold Roman there, the longer you're wasting good talent. That's just my opinion.
Good. That's nothing wrong with that. Lair, what'd you? You took Cody, and what did you think about the match?
This definitely had Vince written all over it. All over it. I was upset because everybody wanted Cody to win, but Triple H said in the media scrum, I believe that's who it was, said that the story's not over yet. It's the end of a chapter. Well, how fucking long are you gonna go?
You wait too long.
They're gonna go a long time.
You kill that story if you push it on too long.
They're
Sometimes
gonna go
it's good to wrap it
a
up.
long time. When I get to me, I'll tell you what I think about the whole situation.
But Roman is the best thing in WWE right now. I know Yinz Chris
What?
is going to shake his head no.
I don't think he is. I think it's great that his gimmick turned the way it is, and I think they're using that. I think it's beneficial. I mean, I don't hate Roman. I don't hate Roman. I just feel that it was Cody's. It was the destiny. It was like Donnie said. It was the story of the American dream. My son coming. That's what I wanted. I wanted the dream, and that's the dream of his kid taking that title that Dusty never got. That's whatever. But
Larry, I don't disagree with you here. I feel like anything that Roman and the bloodline has been in the last year and a half or two has been money. So he's been your franchise player. He's doing the best work he's ever done in his career. And he's kind of blurring that line between heel you just want to see get his fucking teeth kicked in and that cool heel. Man, it's kind of good to be the bad guy sometimes. I hated Roman when this whole gimmick started. If Yins followed us on our podcast, I hated Roman Reigns.
I'm not.
But you love him now.
That's obvious.
But I don't say I love him, but I'm saying he's the best thing going right now in WWE.
I can't.
They could change it.
I can't argue with it. They're not going to. He is money. He's big money.
He's too hot right now.
He's got Paul. He's got money. Shane, what do you think, Shane? And you.
Okay, I got two things. Rich gets me going and makes me think about something. But I'll tell you what. When I think of Roman Reigns, I think, it's just like I don't have an opinion either way. He's a good wrestler. I like watching him, but it doesn't get me excited. I don't get all fired up. Like Samoa Joe, I don't like him, and that's why I like to watch him because he's just irritating. And then, Cody he doesn't even look real. He looks like he's plastic. He looks like, he should be on Street Fighter or something. But he's a good wrestler. And I can think back to his dad, and
it's gonna choke you out when he sees you next time.
And it makes you think it hits you in the feels. You think back to his dad, and his dad never won a title, and Roman's been in the hot seat has been the hot guy for so long. It's about time, and I can't believe that he didn't get it. It's just how long can you be on top?
Yeah,
and it be legitimate, and you feel it. It just
only
feels.
My woman could pull that off.
But honestly,
it feels like it just. I don't know. It's
Shane,
just the story sucks.
The man who held it for 7 years, Bruno held it. When Bruno held it, everybody believed in Bruno, and Bruno held it. And that was
fan acclaimed,
But it was also now. This is the story, and when I took Cody, I was disappointed, but realistically, I was like, it's too good to be true.
Yeah,
and it is a little bit of Vince.
Yeah, Pat.
And the thing is, and Craig, you're absolutely right. Yeah. But the thing is, though,
you're absolutely right there.
I believe that the story, because we're going to go right in, we'll go right into Monday Night Raw here, and then maybe talk real quick about the merger, because I know some people got to go. But I just think that the thing is, I took Cody. I'm not happy. Roman, it was good. Now, it took everybody to fuck him over, and that's what he said in his promo last night when he came out. I got screwed over. You didn't beat me one-on-one. He did not get beat one-on-one. So the story that Triple H is talking about is the story because Chris said they're not going to give him the keys to the fucking Cadillac right now because he did start AEW. He did take the sledgehammer to the fucking throne on an AEW pay-per-view. He's not going to get it. And then last night, when Brock come out and shook his hand and raised it, and they were going to tag in that tag match, which was total bullshit because I wanted to see matches. That was the worst Monday Night Raw and fucking WrestleMania after WrestleMania series history. It was terrible.
Not to mention, that match would have been fucking awesome no matter how they would have fucking played it. No matter how they played it.
And he could have turned on him during that match. I'll say with that because him and Paulie are still like this. It doesn't matter. That's just the way fucking Brock is, and Brock is a Vince guy, and Vince probably said, you go out. He fucking destroyed Cody Rhodes and put Cody out there. Cody's dead right now. Cody has to fucking go back on Redemption Road and now he has to face Brock Lesnar.
Well, right now
You
he has
take
to
the long way in.
He has to
Brock, right?
beat Brock. He has to beat
You take
Brock.
the long way in.
Yeah, it's going to be that's one chapter of a 25 chapter fucking book now. Cody's going to have to go through every fucking hurdle to go back to get fucking Roman, and now he's got to go deal with Brock.
All right, gentlemen, I got to go. So,
Donnie,
See ya,
thank you
Donnie.
so much.
on.
See ya, Donnie.
See you
But
later.
Bubba,
Thank you. Yes.
But Bubba,
Well,
here's the thing: they could have done it and had the old,
It's money. It's money.
no,
brother.
they could have put him over, like Roman wins by disqualification. I could have bought that, but
Jason Reese says the lowest Raw ever, and I believe it because it was fucking
So-
terrible. Terrible.
go ahead,
Shane-
Chris.
Shane, like I don't know if you saw like the video on Twitter or anything like that of the guy literally punching the shit
Yes.
out of the seat.
Yes.
I seen that.
You
That
know,
would have been me.
After Roman won, and that was after a pinfall. If you'd have had everybody pay what did we like $1,000 a seat or whatever WrestleMania cost for 2 nights, that craziness,
And a
if you'd have
DQ,
had-
yeah.
if you'd have had the main event end in a DQ, you'd have caused a riot.
They would have.
Oh, I know, but you get beat. I mean, people are as pissed now.
No,
It's like a fort in church.
I'm not talking heat. I'm talking they'd have taken the goddamn
Nuclear.
wheels off the tractor trailer trucks outside.
You're right. You're right.
They'd have
Yeah.
It'd have been
They'd have
bad.
flattened every tire in the parking lot. They'd have, they'd have tore that building down to where no 2 bricks stood atop another. They'd have razed that place to the ground.
Yeah.
If that match would have ended in a DQ.
Now let me get with the stats. Chris, you had 5 out of 6. Donnie had 4 out of 6. Larry had 3 out of 6. Rich had 3 out of 6. Shane had 2 out of 6. Todd had 4 out of 6. And I had 2 out of 6 out of Saturday night, which I am fucking terrible. So
Yeah.
the total matches were 20 matches. 20 matches with the Ring of Honor pay-per-views and 2 nights of WrestleMania. Chris was 14 out of 20.
What?
Wow.
Donnie was 13 out of 20. Team Tap Out was, yeah. Larry
Knocking it
was
out.
9 out of 12. Now, Rich, he only had 14 matches. Rich was 7 out of 14.
Wow.
Ring of Honor stuff. Shane, you were coming on strong. You ended up with 11 out of 20.
Hey, I'll
Pretty
take
good.
that.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty good. Todd had 11 out of 20. And the worst out of the whole bunch was the guy who's doing these podcast shows. I had 6 out of 20. So I am terrible at picking, and I am never winning anything of whatever I'm
Me
going to do
too.
with this stuff. But yeah, so I'm going to keep calculating these and putting them to the other ones, and we're going to keep doing this. But
I'm gonna have to watch the podcast. I think I picked Osa. I'm gonna have to check my list.
yeah, no, everybody picked Brock. But let me
Everybody picked Brock.
let me get real quick on what you thought of last night's Monday Night Raw real quick, and what you guys thought you could do 2 combos in one. What did you think of the merger from yesterday for WWE? Chris, I'll start with you.
So I can't comment on Monday Night Raw because I didn't watch it.
You're a smart man.
You didn't miss much.
I missed quite a bunch of shit is what I missed. But I did hear the grumblings that it had Vince's name written all over it. He was making last minute rewrites and all kind of craziness. So we're going to see a lot of that, unfortunately, I think, moving forward with some folks being unhappy with the direction, because they trusted Triple H. They knew he had what was best for business in mind, and Vince is going to come back and put the guys that he wants to be there, the guys that he thinks are stars, in place, and it's going to be rough. I saw a joke image on Facebook, I believe it was, where it was like Tony Khan's cell phone, and it was Sammy Guevara saying, "Hey, I love what I'm doing," and Miro going, "Hey, I'm up for everything," and FTR going, "Hey, when are we signing the new contracts?" Basically just saying, we're not going to leave to go over there because over there's a mess.
Yeah, I posted that. I said
that was you, Larry. I was okay.
Yep.
But yeah,
that was Larry.
I think it's, unfortunately, it's going to get worse before it gets better. And
Okay.
that's the sad thing. As far as the merger goes, Bubba, you and I talked about it beforehand. Don't be surprised if when the Peacock contract is out, you see this new Endeavor Corporation put out their own streaming platform with all the UFC and WWE content combined, and they will pull back all of their digital library and keep it all in the fold. Now Vince McMahon has 100% control of all his likeness rights and all of that stuff. So he's going to kind of write the narrative from now on.
Yes, he can. Well, can Boyd. Shane, real quick, what did you if you watch Monday night?
I tuned in here and there. I watched
you're a smart
the
man.
basketball championship, and it just, like you said, the stink is already there. It's just of Vince, and it's just a shame because it was starting to really. I mean, you could see just how much better a product it was when he wasn't holding the strings. So that's all I got to say.
That's probably unanimous. Rich, what did you think about Monday night if you watched it, and what did you think of the merger?
Well,
real quick.
you and I talked a little bit as we were watching. I think combined, I think we can both admit that we wasted a lot of our lives that we'll never get back. I'll be in the deathbed one day. Wish I could have 3 hours of my life back. I'll think back to yesterday, like, oh fuck, that could have been it right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I had high hopes because, I mean, I know, like, Monday night after Raw is usually basically the third night of SmackDown. I mean, the third night of WrestleMania. It usually is. Hell, there's been a few times where the match, a couple matches on Monday night would be almost as good or if not better than some of the ones you saw at Mania. So I was really fucking excited going into it. The Street Profits match with the new tag team champs, I wasn't a fan. The fact that the whole Lesnar thing at the end happens, obviously not a fan. The Miz getting his ass beat again, not a fan. All in all, just miserable for me. As far as the merger goes, I think I really wish Vince would have just stayed fucking retired. I mean, his ego it should be done by now. How long have you been doing this? And listen, we've heard about complaints about Vince from the locker room for 30 years. I mean, I'm not even alive that long, but if I look back in archives far enough, there's a lot of complaints about Vince and the way he used to handle things and how he would organize things. And I was never a fan of Vince personally. I hope the next time he runs into the ring, maybe his two calves might have a repeat problem, but we'll see. I don't like to wish bad things on people, but fuck Vince McMahon. I can't stand that guy.
Well said. Larry?
Well, I will say this. I am available Monday nights from now on because I am not watching fucking Raw anymore. Just when they reeled me back in when Triple H took over, I was fine. I was actually watching 2.5 hours of it, and the other half hour I was on my phone, but I was still listening.
You had 911 on.
Yeah, but now, I'm done. No, I'm done. As for the merger, is it best for business? It depends how you look at it.
Cash grab.
It's money, but then.
Well, they didn't sell it to the Saudis.
Exactly.
That's nobody would have worked for them because some of the guys aren't working for the Saudis, and you wouldn't have any lady wrestling anyway. So they would have destroyed that. So
and lady wrestling right now is I think that some of the best wrestling.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be a woke moron. I'm totally like being serious. It's legit. Seriously, it's a good product.
I just think last night was a waste of time, like Rich said. I wasn't happy with what happened. I still watch wrestling because I'm trying to get more into the doing for the shows and stuff. The merger, it's probably going to cost $75 for the pay-per-views once everything's done, which is going to be a bunch of shit. And
not for us.
Not for us. And I told Chris that I'll give him a link to that lovely TV stuff. And Shane, I'll send you a link for you.
Yeah, I need the instruction manual.
Yes, something like that. So, but also I was not happy with what happened Monday because every Monday after Monday Night Raw is so awesome to watch. It did not happen for me, and it fucked me off. And if it would have been I'll tell you what, if it had been a Monday Night Football game, I would have turned it to the fucking football game real quick. Like that's what happens during Monday Night Football game. I'll watch football over wrestling. Because Vince has his fucking hand in it. He looks like Old Can Harry won against Dudley Do-Right. And I don't know what the hell his problem is. And I don't know what is $9 billion. I give the man credit. The guy bought it off his dad for $1 million. He sold it, whatever, for $9 billion. I'll give him that, but give it to Triple H and let Triple H do it. It already tells the story when Steph actually has to quit. She doesn't want nothing to do with it because her dad's a fucking egotistical maniac. And I'm sure everybody is on standby and everybody's on pins and needles in the WWE locker room. And now everybody, like Larry posted that thing with AEW and that fucking meme, everybody is going to stay where the fuck they're at because they're not going to go to fucking WWE. FTR is not going to go now because Triple H is not running the show. So that's my take on it. And
Jericho might.
I don't know.
Some of them old guys might. You don't think so?
No. He's happy with what he's doing.
Yeah.
He could still do
he
all
gets
his
to
stuff.
do whatever the hell he wants to do.
He could go play Fozzy, and he could go play, and he don't have to deal with anything.
And he can go do slow motion bullshit matches and
Yeah.
PWG and all that other stuff.
That was one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life, by the way.
But it's Jericho. It's no one's gonna. He don't give a fuck. He
They
just
love
tells
that
people how
shit.
it is.
Hey,
Yeah.
and I heard that Switchblade. There's no talk about Switchblade Jay White coming to WWE now.
Why would he? Nobody will know who the fuck he is anyway.
Well,
They wouldn't do anything with him.
No,
They wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do anything with him. You know?
Yeah.
You know,
They'll make him a star in 11 years.
be terrible.
well, the thing is, you know, Vince would take a look at him and go, okay, well, I don't like
He's
what
not
you're
a
telling
Vince
me.
guy. Vince
Right.
don't like guys that aren't built still the Hogan mold and the Warrior mode, and that's just how he is. He's
Although-
always like big guys.
I don't know if you guys remember this. I saw a video about this earlier today. There was a time where he had a lot of faith in that guy, Maven. You remember Maven?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
The fucking
Terrible.
default looking character from a video game. I mean, that
Yeah.
fucking guy. And there was that time where he beat Undertaker in the Royal Rumble, and a lot of that was
Yeah.
Vince.
He drop kicked him over the rope. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big thing for Vince. Was Vince had a lot of faith in that guy, and it just
Well-
goes to. And then we never heard of him ever again. Actually, he was
No,
bartending.
I think he had an addiction problem, and that was it. That was, I mean, he couldn't.
But my
handle
point was, he
prosperity.
wasn't a big guy by any means. I mean, he was a smaller cruiserweight kind of dude. But again, it just goes to show you that Vince's.
But he was the first
mind.
guy that won the Tough Enough, and that's what they were pushing. That's what he did that, and that's how it got him his claim of fame, and then kicking Taker, and God bless Taker for doing that. Taker
Yeah.
should have never fucking did that. He'd be like, hey, I'm not going over for this fucking guy.
Not for
I
this.
saw,
fucking
I,
weirdo.
saw, I saw Maven at KCW years ago. I don't know
Oh,
if
really?
any of you remember that. Yeah.
No,
Yep.
I see. There you go. No, not
Yeah.
against KCW, but I mean, he was a fucking star before. You know what I mean? Back then, he was supposedly big a star, but
Yeah, that Josh from Tough Enough wrestled Big Lenny years and years ago too.
yeah.
Oh, did he?
So, but like I said, I mean, we wanted to get that out. I wanted to hurry up, and I was trying to do an hour, and I know we all talk, and but it is what it is. But I mean, I thank you guys for coming on your Tuesday night to wrap this up because it's good to get it out in the open sooner than later. Like doing it a week later is just not fresh in our minds.
We could do it Mondays now.
We might have to do a Monday night during Monday Night Raw and maybe have a bitch fest. But
That would be fun.
yeah, so I totally appreciate you guys coming on and spending your Tuesday night with me doing this stuff, and I appreciate you guys making these picks. Now we will do the Puerto Rican stuff. We'll do it the week. I'll get a hold of you guys. That's a done deal. And I know if you guys are busy doing stuff, I understand that things happen. Just give me your picks and we'll do that, you know, and Todd can come aboard. And like Donnie comes in and out because Donnie got to work. I totally understand. I'm cool with that. And I do enjoy this little panel of professional wrestlingisms 101 here. So it's very good. Now, before we go, anybody, Chris, you want to plug anything before we go? I know you did it last week, but it's a new week. So if you got anything to plug, please plug it, brother.
Same plug. You know, April 15th, Juniata Civics Association building. It's me versus Spencer Slade.
That'll be a good match. That'll be a real good match. I'm gonna try. I don't know. I'm gonna try. That's all I can say.
He might beat me, but he better pack a lunch.
Nice. I like that. I like that.
I had a
There you
question
go.
for you, by the way. So, do you guys know going in? Like, I mean, obviously you know, but like, how early do you find out what the writer's plan is for that show? Like, how soon do you guys find that out?
In the
Like, how much-
ring. In the ring. In
Really?
the
So
ring,
you just-
brother.
Really?
Yep. Yep. In the ring.
In the ring.
In the
We'll figure
ring.
it out in the ring.
Yep. In the ring.
Nice.
It's him versus me. We're gonna sort it out.
Yeah. Shane, you got anything to plug?
I do have a question for the panel. Micro Wrestling's coming to my area July 1st, I believe. And and Bubba, I'm blaming on you. You created a monster. All the 17, 16-year-old kids that hang out here, 15-year-old kids that hang out are dying to go to this. So if you'd like to come out,
yeah, we got time to. We got time. I got time.
You got time to plan and come out because
I got time.
Make an appearance. It looks like a lot of fun. So
well, I appreciate all those people that go to your house and tune in on Friday nights when we do the pop culture show.
That is pretty fucking
that.
cool.
That is awesome. And
they're always, Bubba, they're always a different group of kids. It's that's how your numbers are climbing, buddy. Because these kids come and they're like, "What is this shit you're watching? It's crazy. I love this guy." And these kids are like, they get on there and they're like, before I know it, they're messaging. I'm in another room, by the way, listening and watching.
I think it's great. I think it's so cool. I when he asked me who was Taylor Swift and somebody, I was like, look, man, Stevie Nicks is way better than Taylor Swift. But anyway,
then they start googling Stevie Nicks.
Yeah, well, and I let me know, and I'll see what believe me, I have gun will travel.
Hey, bring Tammy. I'll have hey Larry, everybody's invited. Chris, you're invited. Rich invited. You have a place to stay. I have another room upstairs for you.
We'll just all go see midget wrestling, and then Chris will world.
Yeah. Like literally, I have 6 full couches in his house and beds, and we all can crash.
Midgets now, they're little people.
Yeah, but they're
terrible. How dare you?
They are so athletic and they're just fantastic.
They're great. It's great.
It's wonderful.
They're very expensive to book. They're very expensive. They're not cheap. I tell you.
Yeah. So
there's not many of them. So good luck. It's like.
So, hey Shane, I hope you got bunk beds. That's all I'm worried about.
You're getting the top bunk.
Absolutely.
I'm not staying anymore.
So Rich, you got anything to promote, Rich, before we get out of here?
Nah, man. I'm good. I remember Shop All Steak. Give me a call.
Gotcha. And Big Larry, I know you got something to promote. What do you got to promote?
I do.
Larry?
It's funny that Shane mentioned the midget wrestling coming to his town.
Little people wrestling.
I'm sorry, little people. It is the debut of Reese and JJ tag team at the Micro Wrestling.
Are you serious? For real? They're tagging up? Are they tagging up for real?
No.
Okay. I was like, I go, you almost had me. I was like, holy fuck, they're getting into wrestling. They're going to beat the shit out of all the little people.
I doubt it. These guys are fantastic.
I always mess with them about them being short and stuff, and But
I thought they were in it for real. I was like,
no.
The Extreme Wrestling Podcast has turned to the page.
Yeah, and then tomorrow night we got our podcast for WrestleMania Fallout. So tune in.
What time is
we
that?
will
7:00. Yep, 7:00. YouTube, Facebook. Coleman, I better see you on there.
Coleman's a fan favorite these days.
Yeah, he is.
He is.
You're wanted man.
Chris is a great guy.
Chris is a good dude. I'll share it tomorrow. I'll jump on real quick because tomorrow I got to do Steelers because it's just I'm a busy guy. So
you don't have to. I mean, are they going to show up this year? I mean,
they're going to show up. I got half the line from Philly on my side.
I think they're going to draft two cornerbacks.
Well, I'm having a draft show. So, but I want to thank you guys. I know I said an hour. I said an hour and it went an hour and 53 minutes because we do like to talk. But I'm definitely, if we're going to get out, I appreciate everybody for tuning in, asking their questions, and coming on. We're going to keep doing this. I think this is a great thing. This is the only thing going that I know of wrestling where we're giving these picks and stuff like that. And these guys are giving their personal opinion and that I truly love. So, you know what? Thanks everybody for tuning in. Please hit like and subscribe to the Triple B Experience. Guys, thank you so much. You guys have a great night. And I will get you guys. We're going to be doing the next pay-per-view a couple days before. We're not going to Puerto Rico. I mean, if I had a plane, we could, but I can't.
Go buy one, goddamn. What are you
Larry will be my Larry will pilot, and I'll be the co-pilot. Be like
if I was on Logan Paul or Pat McAfee's podcast, go to Puerto Rico.
I'll be the big balloon. So everybody, thank you guys. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Everybody, have a great night and a better tomorrow. See you guys.